Archaeologists have captured a previously unknown glimpse of Roman London. It seems that sometime in the 3rd century AD, a wall was built along the river when the city needed the protection of massive defences. Among much else, it suggests that by then the status of the city mattered to the Romans, and they went to great lengths to underline the importance of the place and keep it safe. Joining me now to consider the latest understanding is Jane Sidell, Principal Inspector of Ancient Monuments at Historic England. Hello there.
Hi Neil, great to be with you this evening.
Thank you, great to see you too. Where exactly have these discoveries been made in mighty London?
We have 3 new sites which are really between London Bridge and the Tower of London. There is an existing piece of the Riverside Wall within the Tower of London, but 3 new sites turned up during office development along the Riverside. And when they came up, the Riverside Wall was uncovered, and it's a very unusual structure, and that's why we thought, following the excavations by the Museum of London Archaeology team, led by the brilliant Sadie Watson, we thought we'd undertake further research and look to see just how unusual and how important the wall was, and that's when we decided to recommend it for protection. We put that to the Department of Culture, Media and Sport, and they agreed that this was really unusual, and so they granted it protection, and they're now scheduled ancient monuments.
So exactly what has been found, for people catching those glimpses there of the footage we showed, and what's so unusual that captured attention? What
we've got is the remains of a riverside wall. It's probably about 1.5 kilometres long, going from Blackfriars down to the Tower of London. And the construction is in 2 parts. There's a masonry wall that sits on timber piles, and that's built of Kentish ragstone, Kentish hassock stone, and then Roman bricks. And then in front of that are the remains of actually a slightly earlier timber box quay, because the Roman wharf was this long structure, 1.5 kilometres long, where the boats would pull up to, and they'd offload people and they'd offload goods and then take on people and goods. And this was the heart of trading in the Roman Empire. So Roman London was not just a city, a domestic city, a place of temples, a place of forum, the basilica, but it was a trading centre, traded all across the empire with goods coming in, going out. And then for some reason, and this is why it is so weird, in the 3rd century, to use a technical term, a great big wall was built, we think maybe 4-5 metres high, and it cut off the wharf. It cut off the wharf from the city, and we've got unanswered questions that we still need to know about. We need to know how it worked, because you have to get through a wall, and this is the thing that not everyone understands about defensive walls. There have to be portals or gates through them. Now, we've got a landward wall in London that's 3 kilometres long, and that has a series of gates. So places like Bishopsgate, that's the Roman gate through the wall. Moorgate, that's the gate through the Roman wall. But how does the Riverside one work? What's going on?
So does it mean that although they were well aware of the importance of the port and the necessity of trade, that a priority decision was made? Were they worried about some kind of riverborne, seaborne attack, that they said, right, we needed the port, but we're going to do without it for now?
This is what we think is happening. Now, the 3rd century, there's some turbulence going on in the empire. There have been plagues, there have been diseases, there have been unsettled times. And so we think potentially the wall was built because there was a preemptive need for defence. So I think that's it. There's no evidence at the time that there were attacks on London, but we think it may have been a preemptive strike to build the wall, because it's quite a big investment and it's quite a big undertaking to build such a large, substantial, long wall. So we think that's what's going on. There's economic uncertainty, there have been disease, there have been death, and so we think, yes, defence. The wharf obviously had to function because goods had to come into London, people had to come into London, people had to leave London. It was the centre of the administration for the province of Britannia, so people were moving regularly in and out of the city.
Jasmine, a glimpse of drama.
Yes.
You know, that there was something that people felt we've got to make a massive investment of time and effort here to protect from the possibility of and we don't know what.
I'm just wondering if it was a sort of customs and excise wall, you know, that if it was a place where those incoming had to stop, show their papers or, you know, Roman version, and just be checked over. You know, who knows? It's an extraordinary thing.
Is it all built upon now? Is it just sealed and buried, or will people be able to catch a glimpse of this again?
The 3 new stretches are all buried, and so you might ask, why did we bother protecting them? But the reason we bothered protecting them is that in 40 or 50 years' time, the new buildings will come down, and at that point, the legal protection will come into play. And this sounds like, you know, an awfully long way off, but as archaeologists, as you'll know, we're in this for the long haul. And just up the road at Vine Street in the City of London, an element of the Landwood Wall has just gone on public show. Now that was found. It was found in the early 80s.
Jane, I've run out of time here. I could obviously, with an archaeological background, I could keep talking to you. I love the continually unfolding story of London. Thank you, Jane Sidell.